Every life tells a story, but some lives demand to be remembered. This is the story of Jonathan Joss. Actor, voice of a generation, proud native son, and unapologetically himself. His voice brought laughter, his presence brought power, and his legacy unforgettable. From humble roots in Texas to becoming the heart behind iconic characters, Joss's journey wasn't just about fame, it was about representation, resilience, and truth. Stick with us because behind the voice of John Redcorn was a man whose real-life story is deeper, bolder, and more inspiring than you've ever imagined. Jonathan Joss was born in October 1965 in San Antonio, Texas, into a family deeply rooted in Indigenous heritage. A proud member of the Lipan Apache and Tonkawa tribes, his upbringing was steeped in native traditions, storytelling, and a strong sense of community. His early years were shaped by both the challenges faced by many Indigenous families and the resilience that defined his people. Growing up in Texas during the 1970s, Jonathan witnessed firsthand the complexities of Native identity in America. Yet he carried himself with a quiet determination, drawn early to the arts whether through music, oral storytelling, or performance. Though details of his childhood remain private, those who knew him later in life often spoke of his sharp wit, deep cultural pride, and the way he effortlessly commanded attention, even as a young man. His path to acting wasn't immediate. Like many Indigenous youth of his generation, he navigated a world where Native representation in media was scarce, often stereotyped or sidelined. But this lack of visibility only fueled his thirst. Little did he know, his voice, both literal and artistic, would one day help redefine Native storytelling in Hollywood. Jonathan Joss didn't just act, he rewrote the rules, stealing scenes and smashing stereotypes with a voice like thunder and a presence that commanded every frame. Jonathan Joss's acting career began in the early 1990s, but his breakout moment came in 1997 when he joined the animated series King of the Hill. He took over the role of John Redcorn, a Native American healer after the death of the original voice actor, Victor Aaron. From seasons 2 through 13, Joss breathed life into Redcorn, not just with voice, but with dignity. He infused the character with authenticity, steering it away from stereotype and into a fuller, more respectful portrayal of Native identity. Joss didn't stop there. In Parks and Recreation, he brought laughter and nuance to Chief Ken Hotate, a witty tribal leader whose appearances often highlighted the cultural tensions between modern America and Native history. With humor and depth, he brought the character to life, earning fans across generations. He also fronted the Redcorn Band, blending music and cultural commentary into a new form of Native performance art. Through song, Joss entertained, but more importantly, he educated. In each role on screen, behind a mic, or on stage, he created spark and stood as a voice for the underrepresented, a symbol of cultural resilience and a man who never compromised his truth. Joss had recently completed voice work for the upcoming revival of King of the Hill, scheduled for release on Hulu in August 2025. His final performance will now stand as a tribute to a career and a life cut tragically short. Beyond his cultural heritage, Jonathan Joss was also openly gay, a fact he never concealed, even in an industry and society that hasn't always been welcoming to LGBTQ+ community, particularly within Native communities. His openness was a quiet act of defiance and courage, a testament to his commitment to authenticity in all areas of life. Joss was married to Tristan Kern de Gonzalez, his partner and husband. Together, they built a life grounded in love, dignity, and mutual respect. For Joss, identity wasn't something to be hidden or downplayed. It was something to be lived out loud with pride. On June 1, 2025, Jonathan Joss was tragically shot and killed outside his former home in San Antonio, Texas. He was 59 years old. The suspect, a neighbor named Sigfredo Alvarez Ceja, was arrested and charged with murder following the altercation. According to his husband, the killing was preceded by homophobic slurs and followed months of targeted harassment. While law enforcement has not officially classified the act as a hate crime, the circumstances have sparked widespread concern and calls for further investigation. The news of Joss's death sent shockwaves through the entertainment world, Native communities, and LGBTQ+ circles. Friends, colleagues, and fans expressed grief and outrage, remembering him not only as an entertainer, but as a man who lived with dignity and purpose. We've lost a powerful voice, one that brought truth, humor, and representation to screens that too often ignored it. Jonathan Joss wasn't just a character actor, he was a cultural force. His legacy deserves to be remembered, honored, and shared. If his story moved you, don't let it end here. Like, share, and subscribe to help more people hear his voice. Because voices like his should never be forgotten. Stay tuned for our next deep dive, and remember, real legends don't follow rules. They make them.